Welcome back to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a nice day. I went straight into today. No intro, no nothing. Let's get cooking because we're talking about Man United and transfers. Yes, we are looking forward to the summer transfer window because we've got a massive rebuild. We've got lots to talk about. We've got lots of new contracts to give out to players. Yes, we're talking about Martinez. We're talking about Harry Maguire. But we're also talking about bringing in new midfielders. Yes, bringing in new midfielders, which we need. We need midfielders. We are desperate to bring in somebody. And Man United have announced that the number one target this summer will be Elliot Anderson. Now, I don't know what to make of this story. I don't know what to make of this story because I want it to be true. But I also know we're not the only club in for Anderson. There'll be like 5, 6, 7, 8, even more clubs lined up to sign Anderson. We're talking about Man City as well. We're talking about Liverpool. I'm hearing from Liverpool fans and sources from Liverpool saying Liverpool really admire Anderson. They want him. They think he's very important. They think he's going to excel in the future. They want to make him a Liverpool player. Man City, again, there's no doubt that Man City are in for this guy. No doubt. And if it does come down to Man City and Man United, I just feel like it's going to be the same scenario with Semenyo. Number one, were we even in for Semenyo? I'm not 100% sure. But even if we do go up against City, will we be able to match them or outperform them in salary and everything else? Really worrying for me, really worrying. So yes, I'm happy that United have made him the number one target, but I'm worried about what that holds for the future. Will we be able to secure him? I don't know if we will. I really don't know if we will. It's not good. It's not good from our perspective, because I feel like we need to have backup options. I feel like we need to have a couple of other players in that mix that we can kind of say, right, okay, if we don't get Anderson, we can have now. I know many of you are probably thinking, well, we've got Baleba. Baleba's form is worrying me, man. It is worrying me massively. I watch him play, and I'm keeping a close eye on him because I know United have got a very good link with him so far. They've agreed personal terms. There are talks that that's a done deal. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. For me, it worries me because I think, is this kid, is this his form? Is this what he's good at? He's not even playing for Brighton. He keeps getting taken off. He's not playing a full game for Brighton. He's not playing well enough for him. So why are we going to go and drop a cool 70, 80 million pounds? And that's the rumour. We're going to drop that much money on a player who's not even making it into his bloody first team. So why pay that much money? For me, it's a no-brainer. We need to go for players who are playing on a consistent basis and playing well and at high standard. And the one standout for me in midfield, in a team that's not doing too well, is Anderson. He's smashing it, absolutely smashing it for Nottingham, and every game he's carrying that team. He's carrying that team for everybody to watch. We're watching him. He's played against United. He absolutely ran his socks off. He was all over the pitch doing a great job for Man United, against Man United. Hopefully he will be a Man United player. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. And of course against Liverpool, all the big teams know that he's capable of much more. And he's of course broken into the England team as well. He's going to have going to the World Cup. I think he's going to have a great World Cup as well. I just feel like we need to go and get someone like this to really put a marker down for the rest of the Premier League. We need to put a marker down and say, we mean business. We mean business. We're not here just to faff about and we're just going to kind of be talking about, yeah, maybe we'll do. We mean business. We need to go out there and secure someone like Anderson. Once we get Anderson, then we can start looking at building other players around the pitch. For me, the most important position is the midfield. I've been crying out for it. I mean, since this summer that's just gone by when we were talking about signing Baleba. Maybe we've dodged a bullet with Baleba. I really do think that. I really do now think that, okay, Baleba's form isn't improving. I thought for a moment it was just him being unhappy at Brighton, but then we've heard, no, he's actually not playing well. He keeps getting dropped. It's not because he is upset in any way. He knows that, look, he needs to play well to keep interest on him and the contract and possibly a deal for with Man United. But Man United, I'm hearing now, I'm just going to tell you what I've heard. Then it's up to you to decide what you want to decide. I always feel like I've just got to give you the news, what I feel like, what I've heard, and then it's up to you to decide. What I've heard is that United are having second thoughts on Baleba. So they're not looking at Baleba and thinking, right, he's the perfect candidate. And having Carrick come in, we've also heard rumours that Carrick isn't a big fan of Baleba. We've heard that Carrick, if he had a choice, would be saying Anderson and Wharton would be his choices. And I can see why. They've got the stature. They've got the stature of a midfielder that it makes perfect sense in the Premier League. We all know we need that kind of midfielder. We need a Carrick. We need essentially a Carrick, right? We need one of those midfielders who's just composed and just slows the game down, brings the ball down, looks up and makes this simple, straightforward pass and just does the dirty work, just does the simple defensive work that is needed in this team. We've got enough creative players going forward. We don't need more of them. So for me, I do not want to hear any noises coming out of United saying, oh, we're going to go for maybe another attacker or maybe start strengthening our defence. Right now, focus on the midfield, just concentrate on that. And then once you've done that, we can then start looking elsewhere. For me, then straight immediately after, I would probably strengthen our left back position. Luke Shaw, touch wood, hasn't been injured and he's played pretty well, I'd say, this season. He's been doing well. Whatever's been asked of him, he's doing. But the worrying signs are that if he gets injured, then what do we do then? Yes, I know we can move Dalot onto the left, and I know Dogu can fit in there as well. And then we've got, I don't know what's happened to Leon, but he's there somewhere. I mean, playing for the youngsters right now, but he will be maybe coming to the fore as well. So we've got some position players there, but I just feel like then we can move on and maybe strengthen it in other positions. But it's clear what we need to do. Now, I don't know whether United are playing Brighton with this link, this report coming out that their number one target is Anderson for the summer. And I don't know whether they're saying that to Brighton, saying, oh, we're going for Anderson, so you better lower your price. And if Brighton turn around and say, well, you can take Baleba for 60 or 50 to 60 mil, I get this feeling, knowing United, knowing what we know about Ineos, they're going to turn around and say, yeah, we'll take that bargain over actually putting some money down, putting some extra money down and buying someone like Anderson, because he's a statement. He's the one in the showroom. If you go into a showroom and you're looking around at the cars, he's the one that you know everybody is looking at. He's the one that everybody wants. He's the item. He's the car that everybody wants. It's a Ferrari, isn't it? In the red, and it looks glossy, it looks nice, everybody knows, but then you look at the price tag and you think, I don't know whether I can afford that. So what I'm going to do is just go and buy something that maybe that does the job, but I know it's not going to, do what I want it to do. And might go for something else. For me, it's like that with Anderson. Anderson is the one that's having the standout season for Nottingham Forest. He has been sensational. You watch him play and he's crazy. Then the other one next to him, close enough, I'd say he's still not as good as Anderson, is Wharton. Now, this is my own opinion. You might completely disagree. And if you do, let me know in the comments. I don't mind. I want to hear from Man United fans to what they think or who they think is going to be best suited for this United team going forward if we qualify for Champions League. And that's the other thing. If we are qualifying for Champions League, hopefully we are, and we need top players. We cannot rely on bit part players like even Baleba, who we're not quite sure whether he's going to be able to cut the mustard. Right now, he's not playing well enough for Brighton. Right now, first of all, at the start of the season, I was like, well, he's not playing well because, he's downed his tools. He's downed tools and he wants to play for United and he's going to get that deal in the January transfer window. And we're all looking forward to it. And we were all thinking, yes, Baleba's coming in January and that's it. It's all done and dusted. Personal terms agreed. but then didn't happen. It didn't happen. And now, once we get into the summer, it's open season. It doesn't matter whether we've agreed personal terms with Baleba. Then it depends on who wants to come to United and for what terms. And for me personally, I think if we're going in a 2-horse race with Man City, I think it's going to be very difficult to get Anderson, of course, but we need to pull the stops out. If we get Champions League, we can offer that. I think that's a huge incentive for players to come to United. And the other thing is, why would he want to go to City when he can come to United and be pivotal to United's success? I mean, he would be one of our key players. He'll be replacing Casemiro, who we know for sure is leaving. Carrick actually got asked the question during the presser about Casemiro leaving, and he said, look, would you offer him another season? And Carrick didn't actually come out and say, like, yeah, or it would have been nice to have him for another season. He didn't actually confirm that. So it was almost like he knows it's not going to happen. He knows Casemiro's got other plans, and there is no way he's going to give another year to United. He's got plans to retire or go off to, I think it's MLS, we're hearing. So, you know, make his money whilst he can. I don't know what his plans are, but either way, I don't feel like he's staying at United. And he's made that very clear. He wants to end on a high. And I think if he gets United Champions League football, I think that will be a high that he will be happy with. And he will leave his head held high and say, right, look, I'm happy to go. Whereas United, we'll be needing a player, and Ugarte's gone. I think Ugarte's gone in the summer, guys. I really do. I cannot see him staying on. I think anyone with half a brain at United will look at Ugarte and say, he needs to be sold. Needs to be gone. He's not doing well at United. I mean, you see Carrick doesn't even trust him. It doesn't really put him on as much as even Ruben Amorim was doing. So that is the news about United's first #1 target for this summer, and I'm really pleased that I've started hearing this. First of all, I heard a drop-off where I was thinking we were getting told that United are probably looking at other signings other than Anderson, maybe looking at Wharton, maybe even looking at Tonali. We broke that news last week. We were talking about Tonali possibly as well. There was also talk of Gomes. I don't think that's happening. There's also other talk. I think a couple of days ago we heard Onana's name being dropped in there. Not Onana, the goalkeeper. Don't worry about it. Onana from Aston Villa, the midfield player. Again, I think he's good, but he's not up there. He's not up there. I don't think. Look, for me, it's an investment. You buy a player and it's an investment. You spend all that money, you spend all that time negotiating, getting the deal done. You might as well go and get the player that you really want. And we all know it's Anderson. We all know he is the standout midfielder this season and the one who's going places. That's the one that everybody wants. And it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that Liverpool are hounding and knocking on the door. It's not a surprise that City are doing the same. And I bet you a few others will jump in as well. I think Arsenal might even jump in. I even feel like Chelsea might jump in. We know it's going to happen. Summer window is going to be crazy. It's going to be absolute mental. United need to have all their money, though, ready to go. That leads us on to the next part of today's show, which is that United posted some surprising revenue. Profits, shall we say? Profits? I guess they're profits in the first quarter of 2026. It's a bit misleading. There's a lot of people who were coming out social media yesterday talking about amazing. United are buzzing. United are making serious amount of money, and Ineos are doing a brilliant job, and that's it. This is what we need to be doing. Calm down, guys. Calm down. It's not United making shitloads of money. The reason why United posted that revenue profits for the first quarter of this year is because of the cuts in jobs and staff that they made last year. That's how it works. I mean, we don't get to see the results of what we're doing now until probably next year sometime. Financially, you know how companies run. You post your revenue and your profits the year after from what you did the year before. So same applies here. right now we're seeing the benefits, if you want to call it the benefits of Ineos sacking most of the staff when they arrived, and they kind of cut costs, and they've been doing quite a bit of that. And then obviously we've got salary costs in players. We've cut costs in Rashford and Sancho. They were big players, big salaries, and now when Casemiro leaves, that's another big salary going off the books as well. So that's the benefits of that we're seeing in that. Well, it's short term. I just feel like with the cost of getting rid of Ruben Amorim, that's going to pile on next year. So we're going to see the impact of that next year. In the next year financials, we'll find out what exactly has been happening with United. But let's be honest, if United qualify for Champions League this year, that's a boost of a minimum of 100 mil. That's huge. That's huge amount of money that they can post on. You know, they can go and spend, if you're looking at PSR, they can go and spend 80 million of that. If you want to look at it in them terms, I know it's more complicated than that, but if we're making 100 million qualifying for Champions League, we can go and spend 80 million of that on buying a new player. That's how including the salary and stuff, but it's a lot complicated. I know it's not easy getting your head around PSR and things like that, but let's be honest. Let's be real. If we qualify for Champions League, we will be able to go and buy at least one serious player. And Anderson, for me, is on top of that list as well. Let me go to the chat. Let me see what everyone else is thinking of the news on Anderson. There's some other interesting news I was going to talk about, but I wasn't quite sure. I wanted to double check everything. It's early days, but we are hearing news that Barcelona are sniffing around Martinez, but there's no concrete confirmation of this. I did put the feelers out last night, trying to work out. It's funny because we mentioned Martinez yesterday. The show was about Martinez getting an extension for his contract, and we were all kind of all in agreement on the chat and everything that Martinez, we should be careful with giving him a long-term contract, given that he's picking up lots of injuries. I think he's 28 or something, 27 or 28. I can't remember his age. He's not young, but I think, yes, giving him a contract to secure him is justified. But I just feel like we need to kind of breathe a little bit. Breathe, calm down. Just don't rush into it. He's had a couple of good games. Just take it easy. Of course, I love the guy. He's what I see every Man United player should be like. The passion, playing for the badge, just gives everything. Roy Keane-esque, that kind of player. And I love that about him. I really do. But I also am worried that he is someone who might be picking up too many injuries right now, and we might struggle. But yeah, Barcelona sniffing around. Barcelona are always sniffing around these kind of players, and Martinez, without a doubt, is a top defender. I love him. I absolutely think he is the bee's knees when he's on form, when he's injury free. He is a massive player for us, and we did miss him on the weekend. Hopefully, Anderson wants United, says RD United. That's a really good one, actually. That's a good comment, actually. First of all, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. That's a good comment, because before I came on, I kind of said that. I said that. I was looking at that, and there was a question on whether he wants United or not, or whether it's going to be a choice. Well, it is. Obviously, it's the player's choice, but it might be. Someone was saying, look, it's like Semenyo. It's going to be like a Semenyo deal here, because he's going to get to decide who he plays for, and then it comes down to the player deciding. But I get this feeling, and I know this might be putting my neck on the line here, but I get this feeling that if it came down to City and United were offering Champions League football just like City, I think Anderson would end up choosing Man United. That's just a hunch. I'm not basing it on any information I've got. I just feel like Anderson would choose United. I think he would. I really do. I think United, if they're doing well, is a better proposition than joining City. That might be my bias speaking there, but that's the way I am. I'm just saying it. Morning, Jim. Morning, Luman, and of course, Rick. Hope you're doing well. Big up all. Baleba, Moore, and Amorim signing. Yeah. That's exactly it. That is exactly it. I was thinking that Baleba, as soon as Amorim got sacked, the Baleba rumours reports just went downhill. They went downhill, and I've not heard much. And I've tried to speak to a few people, try and kind of work out what's going on with Baleba, what's going on with his form, what are Brighton thinking about, why are Brighton, still kind of not fully confident in the way he's playing. And all the noises coming out are saying that, look, number one, United, the interest has fallen. They're not as interested as they were when Amrin was the one managing United. He was insistent on bringing in Baleba. That's what he wanted. But the new regime, Wilcox, Carrick, and everybody else, they're not as keen as we were previously on Baleba. Make what you want of that. Luhmann says, we need Carrick. We need a Carrick who adjusts and reacts to opposition style of play. I know this is a gripe for you, isn't it? This is an issue for you that you keep raising, Luhmann, which is you want a coach who's flexible and is adapting to the circumstances. I feel like he is. I feel like Ruben, that was my criticism of Ruben Amorim. I used to always, if you hear my watch-alongs and everything, that was always my criticism of Ruben Amorim. I would be always shouting at the watch-along saying, this guy needs to react. He needs to be always focused on adapting and reacting to what's going on the pitch. And he's awful at doing that. His tactical nous was just not there. He just did not have the acumen to change things up when they needed to be changed. However, my defence of Carrick not changing the team is because he's not got any reason to change the team. Has he? I mean, If I could see a reason for him to change up any other players, I would. I mean, the only one I called this week was the one on Sesko and maybe Kuna being dropped. But again, Sesko coming on as a sub is doing much better than he has when he starts. I don't know why, but I feel like he is just more fresher. He's just got more power. He's got more speed in him when he comes on as a sub, and the players around him are tired. We saw it against Everton, that run, the sprint he made. He just left everyone in the dust. And I feel like maybe that was because he was more fresh. I don't know. But that is why I think, look, the Carrick thing, I know it's a bit difficult, but I feel like, yeah, I understand why he's not changing up his lineup. We need a Carrick who picks his lineup according to strengths and weaknesses of the respective opponents. Yes and no. But then, for me, if you're picking your team for the opponent, are you not giving something up? Are you not saying we're kind of afraid of who's coming up against us? Whereas, surely, if your team's kicking it and you're the most informed team, you say, bring on whoever you want to. I don't give a shit, right? We don't care whether it's Arsenal, whether it's City or whoever. This is our team. We're smashing it. So bring it on, and we'll smash whichever team stands in front of us. And that is surely instilling confidence in the players in the starting 11 who are like looking over thinking, shit, the manager really believes in us. He really believes that we can go away to Arsenal and smash them. We can go and smash any team. And I feel like that is why the players are playing for Carrick as well. You can see it. They're actually offering him a lot more than they were doing with Ruben Amorim. A lot more. You can see it. You can see for sure it is a day and night difference to the way the players are giving so much more for Carrick than they were for Ruben Amorim. And you'd probably look at Ruben Amorim and think you'd expect him to be the better man manager, wouldn't you? I mean, if I was taking a guess, I'd say, Ruben Amorim would be the better man manager, but he hasn't. He's not been the best man manager. And Carrick, to credit due to him, has done brilliantly. He has done brilliantly when it comes to man managing, and even Sesko, even that tricky question about, why are you not starting Sesko? And what's your, surely he's asking to be started. And he's like, look, yeah, he is. He's asking, yeah, he wants to start, but I've got a very good relationship with him. I've got respect for him. He's got respect for me, and he understands that what the plan is. And I really like that. I really did. Jim, welcome, mate. I would get Tonali and Stiller, maybe unpopular opinion. That's not an unpopular opinion, Jim. That is not an unpopular opinion because there'll be quite a few who would probably go for that option. I think Stiller, like we discussed a couple of shows ago, I can't remember when it was, where we discussed Stiller being a more of a kind of a Kobe Mainu type player, not a defensive type player. He is a mix of a defensive but also a very attacking, forward-minded kind of player, likes getting forward, likes kind of making those passes. I think Tonali, however, if we can get someone like Tonali, that's the big question. If we can get Tonali, would really excite me. I would really love someone like Tonali. I like his composure on the ball. I just think he's a clever player, and he just offers us so much experience as well. He's, someone who just come in and slot straight into United, I think. But again, over Anderson, maybe not. I feel like Anderson's got a lot more to give in terms of pace and coverage around the pitch. So, I'm sure Ineos won't be going for any player above 50 mil. They'll be looking for low-profile players like Dogu and hope it turns out to be successful. That's a good shout, Luman, because that's what I was thinking. Just before, I was thinking, it depends what Ineos are thinking like, right? If Ineos are in the mood to spend, they might go and buy Anderson, but the most likely option with Ineos is that they're always going to look for cheaper options. They're always going to look for players who are not going to cost as much as Anderson. And they're going to walk themselves out of the negotiation room because they're going to be like, how much are you asking? It's 100 mil. Okay, off we go. Thank you very much, but no thank you. We're out of here. And that's what Ineos are going to do. And you're exactly right. They game plan so far, their plan to recruit so far has been go for younger players who who've got the potential and who are not maybe on everyone's radar. But then saying that, they did go and sign Sesko for a huge amount of money. They did go and sign Sesko, and you could argue that he wasn't even Premier League proven. That was a bigger risk, I think, than going after Anderson. And I'm a huge Sesko fan, by the way. If you watch me regularly, you'll know that I am a huge Sesko fan. I've been calling out, saying, look, for patience for Sesko, and patience and I don't go well together. And I'm sure Rick will tell you that, because Rick, who's on the chat, I can see, is the one normally who's telling me to be patient and saying, look, calm down, Travis, it's going to all work out and everything will come good. But when it came to Sesko, I was the wise head, I must admit, saying to everybody else, look, give him time, he will come good. He's got the attributes to be a very, very good player. And before you know it, he's going to be one of the best strikers in Europe. And we're going to be sat there thinking, wow, how the hell did we get our hands on this kid? Now imagine if Newcastle had gone and signed him, and imagine if United said, no, we're not going to pay that much money for someone like Sesko. So I feel like this is one of those crossroads that we're going to get to in the summer. Do we sign Anderson, or do we save our money and maybe go for a Baleba or someone even cheaper, someone unknown in that midfield, and think they'll do the job? So yeah, look, you pay for what you get. You get what you pay for, really. That's what it is, isn't it? You get what you pay for. So for me, Anderson, yeah, you know what you're going to get. Tonali, you know what you're going to get. Going for someone young would be a risk. Tonali would be good. See if Camavinga is unsettled at Real. There's talks of that, Rick. There are talks of Camavinga being unsettled or something not working out. Now, I was watching Real Madrid yesterday against Benfica in the Champions League. Close game. But Real Madrid look shit compared to what they were, right? There's something not right. I mean, they've got a huge amount of talent on that pitch. But I was kind of sat with a couple of mates watching the game, and I was discussing with them, why have Real Madrid dropped off so much? And we were trying to work it out, and there was all these discussions around the table about why is it? And then it was, my opinion was, because they've not really replaced Modric and Kroos. They've not got a midfield anymore. They've not got the creative players there. Yes, they've got the attacking players. Yes, they've got a decent defence. They've had a few injuries. They've got one of the best goalkeepers in the world in Courtois. But where they're lacking is creativity. They've got Arda Güler there, but he's not one of those players who is consistently looking up and looking for the assist. And that's where the danger comes in with Bruno Fernandes. I keep warning everybody, watch this space. Watch this space. I feel like Real Madrid will come in for Bruno Fernandes because he's made for someone like that, a club like that need an assist machine. Travis, what's the guarantee Man United won't be a bigger club for Anderson? Won't be a bigger club. Do you mean you think he's looking at United as a bigger club or not? I don't get that. The club is being run like a business again. Yeah, look, in terms of finances, Rick, yeah, the club is being run like a business. I don't mind them running it like a business if they've got the club interests at heart. I don't like it when I start hearing reports and rumours about them, trying to make money for themselves and trying to get dividends and still not paying off the debt. The most obvious thing that a new owner would do. So, for instance, Ineos, they'd look at the finances and there's a gaping hole in the finances, and it's to do with the interest that they're paying on the loans. That's the main issue. It's not about cutting staff numbers. It's about paying off the loan to reduce that interest, to get that burden off the club's back. Now, the more simple thing, how I could give an analogy for it is like, imagine you've got a house and you've got a mortgage on it, and it's 350k or something, right? Or half a mil mortgage on it, and you need to. You're paying interest every month on that mortgage. Now, what you instead do is start cutting costs around the house, thinking that that's going to help. But it's not going to help because the mortgage stays the same. You're still going to pay interest every month on that mortgage, no matter what. Yeah, you might be able to save a bit of money around the house by maybe not putting the heating on or doing something else, or not fixing things around the house, which, let's be honest, at Old Trafford they've not been doing. But then the house starts falling apart. So the house definitely needs repairing. But the main issue is that you pay off the mortgage. You reduce that amount that's accruing interest. That's the main issue. So I can't see the logic what Ineos are doing. I don't know whether it's short-term fix and they're looking at it as a short-term fix, and then maybe in the long term they're going to look to maybe sort out the loan issue, or they might be thinking, no, who cares? Just leave it there. It's not us who are paying for it. It's the club. So who cares, right? Could Anderson be as efficient for Man United as he is for Forest? Good point. I think he could. I think actually he would be better. I think given his position, given that he'll be surrounded with a lot better players, and no offence to Nottingham here, but I feel like United are a much better team. If he is dropped into that team, I think he'll be more effective than he is at Nottingham. I feel like he's doing a lot more now for Forest than he has to do for United. I feel like he's having to run the show single-handedly, and I think at United he's going to be helped, and that's going to be great for Anderson and great for United. The only thing I'm worried about is United love to lowball teams and players that could see players going elsewhere. That's a problem. Yeah, absolutely. United have got this new transfer strategy, recruitment strategy, which is we're not going to pay any money. We're just going to pay you nothing. I mean, and when they do want to pay, they want to do it in installments. That works for PSR reasons. So they do want to do it over at least a 3-year period. That makes sense. I don't mind them doing that. I just don't like the fact that they go in with these low ball offers and then they give themselves no room to maneuver afterwards. In this system, if we have a coach that gets the best out of our players. Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Rick, would you agree and accept if Ratcliffe offers 1,000 Canadian every month in return for stop supporting Man United? No, of course not. Of course not, Rick. Of course he wouldn't. That's a silly question. Rick, I don't think many fans would. I think, look, Sporting United is Sporting United, right? No problem, just never, no amount of money, maybe even death won't stop me from you being a United fan. Proper legend, Rick. I love hearing that, man. I love respect for that. Respect. Of course, I mean, it's like the there was a comment, there was someone going around in social media and saying like, oh, I'll give you this much money if you take off your top, your home team top and put on the away side or something. And there was actually people doing that. There was people actually taking the money. And I was thinking, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't support another club. Actually, that's it. It was not taking a different top. It was supporting another team. So they're like, oh, if you had to support another team other than United, who would it be? And I think it wasn't United. It was Liverpool. And there were some fans who were like happy to say, yeah, I'd take the money and I'll support somebody else. And I was like, no, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. That's just fake. I wouldn't sell anyone else in Barca. Other clubs watching don't want a set precedent. We are a pushover in transfers. Yep, spot on. Look, the problem with Barca is that they lowball everybody and they use the players themselves and the drive of the players wanting to join them as a leverage. So they're like, oh, look, we're going to give you this much, which is half the price of what the value is of the player, but the player wants to join us. So you can either give him to us or you can just keep an unhappy player. That's what it is. Baleba is totally midfield player. So how is he Amrin signing? He's an Amrin signing. Amrin was a big fan of him. That's what we're saying. Steph, welcome. Hope you're doing well. What's this? Travis, modern game demands considering the approach of the opponent and react accordingly. Yeah, look, it does, but it also doesn't mean that you kind of start chopping and changing. I don't like tinkering with the team, no man. You've heard me say it before. I'm the kind of guy that if you've got a winning formula, you might as well. It's like, you've got the best ingredients to make this lovely cake, right? And it's perfect. It comes out all soft and spongy and just tastes delicious. The sugar content is just right. With a little bit of cream, it just tastes delicious, right? So what you do next week when you're going to make that cake again is you think, I'm going to change the ingredients up because it was lovely. It was perfect. It was the perfect cake ever. But what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to increase the content on the flour, or I might throw in a bit more sugar just to see what happens. And for me, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You still want, you know what the ingredients is to get the best out. So for me, it's all about, you stick with a winning team unless something goes wrong. Unless something goes wrong and he has to make a change and he's forced into making a change. What I do think, though, is important in a modern day manager is being able to identify when a change needs to be made and where that change needs to be made. That's the most important thing. And I think that's where Ruben Amorim lacked the composure as a manager, or the experience as a manager. And I think Carrick has that over him. Now, you might be saying, well, Carrick's younger and he's got no experience. But Carrick has got the experience of the Premier League. He knows, and he's played in the Premier League long enough to know when changes need to be made and how and where they need to be made. So that is where I think he is excelling. He's making changes right when he needs to and knows exactly who to play, where to play. Happy bench squad at last is helping us massively. Yeah, I think that's the other important thing we've got, Steph. So it's a great point you've made. And again, it was to the point I made about him, Carrick, being a good man manager. He's actually really good at managing the players. He's keeping all of them happy. No one is sulking. No one's saying, oh, I'm not getting time. Everyone's happy, even playing their bit part when they're coming on as a sub. Hopefully that is great. It's great for the team morale as well. Play your best, make them react to you. You can always change at halftime. Yeah, spot on. That's my take on it as well. Our Casemiro replacement needs to be good header of the ball in both boxes. He will definitely miss that next season. Oh, great point there. Great point. Now, that's a point why I was when I was thinking about Tonali replacing Casemiro. That's why I was a bit like, he's great, he's good with his feet, he's great with the ball, but he's not good in the air. Anderson is good. Anderson is good in the air, and he is a good header of the ball. And for me, I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because I've watched the Carricks and I've watched like that kind of midfield. but I like tall midfielders. I don't know why. It might be just me, but I like a big, tall midfielder who can win the ball in the air and just can bully players off the ball, even before they get to your defence. But that's my opinion. I mean, some of you might disagree and say, well, no, we need... Kante did a brilliant job for Leicester and Chelsea, so, you don't have to be a tall player to play in that, position as a central defensive midfielder. But for me, I just like the thought, Casemiro is great because you've got that backup option. He's brilliant at defending when it comes to corners, and he's brilliant at heading goals in on the other side. And we've seen lots of goals from Casemiro heading the ball in. Champions League money would change future spending. Yes, absolutely. Sesko gives us wings. Red Bull effect, says Steph. That's wins too. Yeah, wins. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Sesko gives us wins. No, it's brilliant. Sesko has serious wheels. Yeah, do you know what? I did not I underestimated how fast he was. I did not expect him. Now, I did some research before we were signing him. I went and dug around Sesko, kind of sat there mulling over. This was whilst we were in contention of signing him. We hadn't signed him, and I went and did some research kind of for hours, kind of sat down, researched what his records were at his previous clubs and how he developed and what people had said and previous coaches, and his speed didn't come up in all of that. I didn't pick up that his speed was that fast for a tall guy, and he's massive. I've seen him in real life. I've seen him at Old Trafford. Lucky to see him, but and he's massive. He just towers over you, and you think, shit, how's this guy going to even run? It defies logic. He's lanky. He's just like really tall, but that speed, it's probably because he's a bit like a Usain Bolt. He's got that long stride, and he can use that to best effect when he's running, and he's got that pace to burn. Brilliant run that was. Haven't replaced Benzema either in Real Madrid. Yeah, actually, they haven't. I think with Mbappe, they've got a player who can play the strike role. And, of course, he's a different type of player. I think they've got a few others in the academy that they're thinking about they can bring in. I think, is it Gonzalez? I can't remember what his name is now. They've got another striker they can bring in. But, yeah, you're right. They haven't... Real Madrid are really strange. They've gone through a period where they've not been able to buy, apart from Mbappe, but they didn't really pay a lot for Mbappe either, if you think of it, being the world's best player and so all that. But they've not been able to replace all these players that have retired. A generation of top talent hasn't been replaced. And I was happy to see Valverde playing in midfield. I think it's criminal playing someone like him in right back. I mean, that is just crazy. I don't know what thinking is behind that. I mean, Trent as well playing in right back is brilliant for him. But Valverde, I like Valverde. I think he's a great player. Rick, why not win early? And if it's too late by halftime, like we dropped 2 points against West Ham, Carrick brought on Sesko on the 70th minute. Look. The West Ham game, it wasn't that it was a Carrick issue. I felt like the entire team didn't play as well, and I felt like West Ham were just playing that low block, and they played it really well. West Ham had a very good game against us. Not that I care about Real, says Rick. Nah, not that we... Fergie wanted him at Old Trafford. Who's that? Oh, Benzema. Benzema, isn't it? Benzema. I mean, he's a fantastic player. I mean, I don't know whether he's still at that level, but Benzema, he was brilliant. He's just sensational. I loved him back in the days when he was young, playing. I think it was Leon. Was it Leon? I can't remember. But he was brilliant. He's been on United's radar for some time, but unfortunately now time has passed, and I don't think it's going to happen anytime now, is it? And against Everton, Carrick brought on Sesko in the 60th minute. Yeah, he did. I thought that was a great move. It might be just me. Look, I was surprised he didn't start. I was surprised that Sesko didn't start, and I was a bit upset because I'd made the prediction earlier on in the preview show saying that Sesko's starting, and I genuinely got news. I got sources telling me that it looks like Sesko's going to start, so I went with the news. It's always a risk, isn't it, when it comes to team news and you go in there with it. But I was made to feel better by the lads at the Athletic podcast, and Samuel Luckhurst and all the rest, and they were like, we were told that Sesko's going to start as well. And I was like, yes, okay, thank you. I mean, look, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't being misled by sources. I mean, look, the sources are there. They kind of give you the news, but they're not 100% themselves. They're like, look, this is what we believe is going to happen. But then, yeah, it's good news as well, because sometimes you don't want the sources to be right, because you don't want these leaks to come out like we were getting with Ruben Amorim. Half the time we'd know the team news half a day before or even a day before, which was ridiculous. What do you think? Grace, first of all, welcome. Hope you're doing well. What do you think about Martinez? Would you give him a new contract? He's been quite injury prone, and I would worry if we give him a new contract and he gets injured again and he becomes unsellable. Great point. We discussed this in yesterday's stream. We were discussing this, Jim and I and a few others were discussing whether this is the right time to give him a contract extension. And yeah, it is worrying. It is worrying that he's picked up one major injury, then another injury, and then now he's injured again. I know this is not a major injury, and we're being told it was just a minor knock and he'll be back in a couple of weeks. But this is the point I was making yesterday. When a player starts getting injuries on a regular basis, it's not good news, and it disrupts your rhythm, it disrupts their rhythm, and they psychologically are affected by it as well. Now, I'm not saying Martinez is, going to be psychologically affected by the injuries. I know he's mentally quite strong as a player, but I do fear that after a while he might just think, shit, I keep getting injured, and he doesn't then play to his full level and just commit like he's doing already to United. He might hold back, saying, shit, there's the World Cup round the corner. Do I risk it now? Do I play in these last few games and pick up another injury, or do I hold on and hold back a little bit so I can make it to the World Cup unharmed, uninjured, and, have another great World Cup for Argentina, the defending world champions, right? So, look, that is a concern for me. It is a concern. And my personal opinion was, and I know this might differ, and I'm a huge Martinez fan, by the way. I love him, yeah? But I would hold off on giving him a contract right now in mid-season. I would wait till the end of the season and then, offer him something then. And then the question is, what do we offer him? Because he will want a salary increase. He is, I believe, 27, 28, if I'm right. And if that's the case, how long do you give him that contract for as well? I would love to, if he hadn't been going through this injury phase, I would have said, look, hands down, give him a bloody contract and keep him here till his career ends, because he's that good. He's a brilliant, brilliant defender. And I'm not surprised that Barcelona are looking at him, and there's rumours that Barcelona are looking at him as a potential new centre-back. That's not surprising. I think he's brilliant. And I think he'll do brilliant in La Liga. I just feel like, yeah, I agree with you. It is worrying. The injuries is worrying. A 2-year deal with performance bonuses, yes, I would. Yeah, 2-year deal. I think, take him up to about 31. I would be happy with that. I think there is an extension as well in the current contract, so we can extend that for another year and then offer him another contract. So, but you don't want to run his contract down to the last year. That's the problem. Nowadays, in modern contracts, modern day football, you don't want to do that because you're risking on the player leaving on a free. Arsenal saying they got the better deal, not getting Sesko. Gyökeres is better, and I'm not so sure. Sesko getting better and better could be my United goggles. I don't think so. I don't think Gyökeres has been good at all for Arsenal with all the hype that he came. And you've got to remember a few things. Number one, Gyökeres is older, right? Gyökeres is older, so he should be already doing better. He should be at his peak right now. Whereas Sesko, we've got that to look forward to. Right, so that's number one. Number two, Gyökeres has played in the Premier League before. He's played in England before. He should be used to the circumstances. He should be ready to go. He should have come in and actually been scoring for fun, but he hasn't done that. So for me, Sesko, hands down, is a better signing. And yeah, I feel like he doesn't have to worry about his hair a lot either. So he's not worried about going and sorting out his hair all the time. For me, absolutely, Sesko is the one. It's Arsenal. Yeah, Grace Leacher is our unofficial captain, but is Van de Ven become available? But if Van de Ven becomes available, I'll get him as Maguire upgrade. That's exactly what I was saying yesterday, Steph. Which is, for me, Leacher is. Yeah, he's second in charge, isn't he? Let's be honest. If Bruno didn't have the captaincy, I think it would be going to Leacher. And I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind. But for me, if Van de Ven does become available, I think it's a no-brainer. We go and get him and get Maguire, get him out. I mean, and not in a bad way either. I think Maguire, hats off to him. He's done really well for us. But I would definitely go and bring in someone like Van de Ven. However, again, coming back to Ineos, as we've been discussing in today's show, Ineos are the type of owners who might take the easy option and think, Harry Maguire costing us maybe another 2-3 mil, maybe 4 mil in a contract extension. Let's just do that rather than go and spend 60-70 mil on buying in a new centre-back. And that's why I'm worried. And the other problem is we've not seen a huge window from Ineos. They've promised us the world. They've promised us that we're going to spend big, but they haven't. I mean, yes, in the summer we brought in Mbeumo, Kuna and Sesko and Lemons, but I wouldn't say that was a huge window. I'd say that was a must. It was the bare minimum that we needed to spend. But if we get Champions League football, it requires a huge squad rebuild. We will need reinforcements and they will need to pull their money out. Interest on loan is 14 mil. Amount saved on sandwiches is 8 mil. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I think it's more than that. It's 40 mil, I've heard, the interest, not 14 mil. I was gifted a City shirt. It became a dish rag. Lol. I've been gifted shirts as well, but I've insisted. I got gifted. If I be gifted any Premier League shirts, they don't make it in here. They don't make it into the studio, guys. They do not make it in here. I have got a few knocking around. I think I've got an AC Milan one here. Yeah, I've got a classic Hullet one here. But I couldn't reject this, a Hullet one, right? A Hullet AC Milan. I thought, yeah, I've got to have a bit of Hullet, right? Who doesn't like Hullet? I mean, AC Milan as well. I love these. I love this kit. I mean, it brings back Serie A memories and stuff. But yeah, look, I don't mind the classic shirts. You know, the ones that remind me of something. But no way, a Premier League side. Absolutely not. I don't give a crap what it looks like, and no matter how old it is and what era it's from, it's not coming in here, and I'm definitely not wearing it. You're never going to catch me wearing a Premier League top for any other team bar United. Give me the money now, says Grace. Is Carrick becoming the next Arteta by playing passes and keeping ball possession? Come on, no, man. This is negativity, man. Be positive. This guy has brought us 5 wins and a draw, and you're talking about him becoming Arteta. Come on, man. Look on the brighter side of life. I want you to be a little bit pleased with a little bit. I mean, you should be over the moon from where we were and where we are at right now. Come on, you cannot tell me that you're not impressed with Carrick coming in and doing a job over City and Arsenal. I would have taken it at that. I would have been happy with that. That's made my season. But obviously, going forward, look, it's brilliant. I am absolutely loving what Carrick is doing. So until something goes drastically wrong, I'm happy with Carrick. I'm happy with it right now. Not enough for a dish rag, says Jim for the Man City shirt. Give me £1 million to support Portugal. I'll do it, says £1 million. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. My loyalty is not for sale. Simple as that. These kids that do this are click hounds. I think, look, I've kind of touched on it before. and I always say, look, there's people nowadays, there's fans who are the new age fans who are not as loyal as what fans used to be like. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be controversial. I don't want to kind of get on the backs of fans, but I feel like there's fans out there who chop and change happily. They're like, one day they support United and the next day they're like, oh, this team's doing pretty well and I don't mind a bit of them. I like them. And I'm thinking, you bloody support United. How can you like somebody else? Amrin is better looking, bring him back, says Grace. I concede on that. Amrin was suave. He was a very cool, charming guy. And I got taken in by it as well, Grace. But you've got to get over it. We need to get over it. We need to get over Amrin. We need to like just kind of say, right, it was a blip. He came in and yes, he was suave. He was, did the talking, what he talked like. And every time I would criticize him, I'd go and listen to his press conference and I'd be like, I'll give him another chance. I'll give Amrin another chance. Maybe he's right. Maybe it is something else. But look, whatever it was, I'd kind of now move away from it. And I'm happy with Carrick. And yes, he is boring. And yes, he's really square. But maybe we need that. Ahmad needs to start scoring. His two goals this season is a poor return for such a talent. Yep, absolutely. I thought he'd actually scored in the game against Everton when he was close to scoring, and I thought, brilliant. He needs a bloody goal, this guy does, right? And it is a poor return. And especially given that he's actually now playing in a more advanced position. So you should be getting more goals from him, or at least more chance created. Give me free drinks at Stephanie's pub and I will support any club, says, except Liverpool. Except Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the whole Premier League teams are just off the table for me. Oh my gosh, no, says Rick. If you're not 6 foot, then get out. And that's for a midfielder, I take it, Grace. I don't want fans this time again to do like in the past with Eric Ten Hag and Amrin, to consider Carrick as our messiah and stop criticising him and not or accepting all he does. Yeah, I get what you mean. I don't think we are. I think we are looking at it and thinking, well, he's doing a job for us. And it's a great bloody job from where we were. You've got to accept that and let the facts speak for themselves. Let's not judge Carrick, and I've been saying it from the word go. I've said, let's not get carried away. Let's not give him the bloody job. Let's not, give him a 5-year contract. I'm saying, look, yeah, don't give him anything, but let's judge him every week, game by game. Let's just judge him. And game by game, he's bloody doing well. An 83% win rate. I mean, he's up there right now. I know, obviously, over time that will be affected, but up there right now. In fact, I was going through the win rates for all. I know it's boring, this, guys, but this is what I do, right? Okay, this is a Man United fan at heart. I live and breathe United, but I was sat there the other night just looking at all the win rates, percentages for all the past managers from Sir Alex Ferguson and on, right? And it was really interesting read. I'll actually bring that up on the next show. I'll bring it. It was really interesting. I found it interesting anyway. You guys might think, shit, Travis is effing boring, isn't he? He's flipping, he's going to bore us in one of these shows where he's going to bring up these stats for managers' win rates. But Carrick was up there. Carrick's up there, but of course, it's a short time. Valverde is Ugarte centre mid partner for Uruguay. Yeah, Valverde is sensational, man. I really like him. Maybe that's why Ugarte looks half decent, because Valverde is doing all the work. Stephanie Luman Stephanie, the name is Benjamin. Benjamin, so old school, would prefer calling him Bob Sesko or Bobby Sesko. I like Benjamin. I think that's cool, man. I think Benjamin, he's Benjamin. Jarlim says, is it Jarlim? Yeah, Jarlim, welcome to the show. It's not a record revenue, but it's nice to have almost 40 million in profit for once. Next season, we will see records being broken if United get Champions League. We also need 50-60 game season, not 40 game season. Absolutely. I really do hate the short time hardly any football games. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand watching any of these games, man. Like, I want more games, and that's why I want them in the Champions League, and I want them playing in more competitions, because it's a must. And I get your point in it's not a record revenue. I know what you mean. Rick, I could have said Ben Sesko as well. Rick says you're sharp today. You guys having a lot of banter in the chats. My friend told me her daughter was named her recently born son Sid. I said not Vinicius, not Vicious. Then, unbelievably, he won't be called Sydney, just Sid or SJ. That's a crazy name. That is. Like, that's an old name, right? I said YSJ, second name James, Sid James. Oh my God, I was just going to say Sid James. Is he the one from the Carry-Ons, isn't it? From the Carry-On movies. You know, I used to love watching them. I must admit, when I was a kid, I used to have them on and just love them. Yeah. Anyway, we're going off track. We shouldn't be talking movies. It's a United channel. Someone's tuning in and saying, "Who the F is Sid James? He's a new player that we're signing. We're looking at Sid James as a new potential target for United. Let's bring it onto track again." I'm really glad to see United overachieving for once. Yeah. Look, I love it. I love it. We're not. I feel like we're getting what we deserve. We've had a terrible time of not having anything. Red Times, welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. One is Anderson. Yes, so you just want Anderson. Exactly, man. I love it. I love the fact that we're all in agreement. Now, Anderson is clear. He's clear from many of these midfielders, man. What a carry on. Bless this house. Couldn't make it up. Yeah, all right. Okay, crazy, man. The chat's going crazy today. It's mental today. I'm loving the show, by the way. We've gone over an hour, and it just feels like I've been here on for about 20 minutes. Rick, thank you very much for the sub. Gyökeres is in his prime right now. Sesko are 3 to 4 years away from getting into his prime. United got the better deal. Absolutely. It's only Arsenal fans that will come out and talk that rubbish to you guys and try to manipulate what you're thinking about Sesko. Let's not be fooled into thinking that we've got the wrong end of the bargain. We got the better player. Arsenal were after Sesko. They might not let you know this, but they were looking at Sesko, and in fact, let me actually put it this way. United went in for Sesko a number of years before we signed him this summer. Sesko said no to the move. Now, a lot of us might not know this, but he said no to that move to United because he still wanted to develop. But then when he was ready, he actually made that choice himself. He said, I want United. He is a player that has made sure he's ready for United, and he's coming at a time when he knows he can actually offer United something. So this is why I love him even more. When I know, look, he's chosen United, not the other way around. Really love seeing players like that. Hello, Jal, my friend. How's it going? Still making and eating pizzas, Steph says. United didn't have the cash to go crazy. Losing that Europa League final hurts us last year. Did hurt us. It did. It massively impacted us. Garnacho gifted Travis a Rashford a Villa shirt. No, I would. Do you know what? I would not allow that anywhere near me, man. Anywhere near me. The other day, I saw someone with a Garnacho shirt. In fact, yeah, United shirt, and I was thinking that needs to be burnt, man. That needs to be burnt or used as something else. Because no way would I be wearing a Garnacho. You would not be catching me wearing a Garnacho shirt. Pizza, well, it could be making that later today. Oh, that's the pizza. Well, sounds yummy. Marta, welcome. Long time no hear. You've been missing for a few shows, but welcome back. Hope you're doing well. We try to forget the past results and hope Carrick does his best for us in the future. Yeah, absolutely. We need to be looking at the positive side of things and looking ahead. rather than looking back. I always think, look, the last thing we need to be doing is now looking over and thinking, where we came from, although it's very easily done, because I'm the same. I've mentioned it a couple of times when I'm looking at the league table right now and I'm thinking, if only we won a couple of more games back under Ruben Amorim, them draws that could have turned into wins, the Spurs game, the Nottingham game, and a few others at home, we could have been challenging for the league. And that's why I really I get a bit frustrated by it. At the same time, if someone offered me Champions League football at the start of this season, I would have taken their hand off for it. I'd be more than happy with that. Carrick has been fantastic. Holland as his assistant is key as well. Yeah, I've heard that. I was watching, can't remember who I was watching, but they were talking about Holland being the most important piece to this jigsaw behind the scenes with Carrick. He's it was I can't remember his name now. It's gone again. But yeah, there's someone talking about it, and I was like, yeah, okay, we cannot change clubs only after crossing 40. We cannot change clubs only after crossing 40, in my opinion. Yeah, it is. Rick, how do you become a moderator? I'll give you a moderator. I'll make you a moderator, man. Yeah. And yeah, anyway, guys. So I'm trying to say, look, we go through the chat here, but let me see. Baba, welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. Travis, would you wish well to Amorim for his next job as manager, or hope the worst for him for not wanting us to suffer, for him for wanting us to suffer pain? Really good question. Really good question. Now, I'm looking down the chat, and I know Grace is in the house, and I know Grace is a huge fan of Ruben Amorim, so I don't want to upset Grace either, but honestly, my opinion would have been, even if Grace wasn't here, I would wish everyone the best of luck. I mean, look, he did the best he could. I believe he had the right intentions. I just feel like he was the wrong man at the wrong time. I don't feel like he had the experience of the Premier League, and the Premier League is a beast. It's a beast that swallows managers up and spits them out. And yeah, we've seen great managers like Pep struggle. We've seen great managers come into this league and be humbled by the Premier League, because it is the most competitive league in the world. And this year, I feel like it's gone up a few notches in terms of competitiveness. It's really, really difficult. We see the likes of bloody Wolves, who are, we're at the bottom of the bloody table, but even they are just giving teams a run for their money. It's not easy. There is no team where you can turn up and say, we're just going to batter them today and it's going to be an easy win. And yeah, look, so I do wish him the best of luck. I know, look, he hasn't put out a formal statement or anything, but I don't hold any grudges against him. It does upset me that we could have picked up a few more points, but everything happens for the best, I believe. Rick, you are strong and reliable, long lasting as well. Age is just a number, allegedly. Of course it is. Of course it is. Age is just a number. I swear, I stopped. Let me finish off on something. Yeah, but I stopped counting my age after 25. I really did. I still believe in my head I'm 25. Every time someone asks me, how old are you, Travis? And I'm like, 25. That's my immediate go-to number, 25. And then I have to stop myself and remind myself. And that is why age is just a number. Absolutely, Steph. I mean, I think it's how old you feel. And I think, if you believe yourself to be younger, you will be young. Absolutely. Amorim changing his name to Ruben interim, allegedly. Oh, sorry, Steph. That is a classic one. You're on form today, Steph. I must admit, you're coming out with some crackers today. Oh, that is a good one. That is a good one. Bambo says, Travis, it was more about Amorim, at least to do simple and basic, but he chose to be stubborn. Yeah, look, that's one of my major criticisms of Ruben Amorim. A major criticism of Ruben Amorim is always, look, he was stubborn. And I get to a point, everyone's stubborn, right? Everyone's stubborn to a point. But if something's facing you and it's telling you to do something different and you're still not learning from your mistakes, then that stubbornness goes into a different category. And I just feel like you're doing more harm than good. And near the end of Amrin's tenure at United, I was saying, look, Amrin, you're walking yourself out of this bloody job. Stop it, please, stop it. And he didn't. And the last straw was, of course, going after Ineos, and that's it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave the show there. We've gone way over time, but I want to thank everybody who's been on the chat. It's been absolutely brilliant. I think one of my favourite shows this morning. I wasn't expecting this, but everyone's been firing in the chat, and it's made my day. I wish you, every one of you, a nice Thursday, lovely, and everyone who's joined in on the chat who's new. So Baba and everybody else who's coming, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and so you can join us again. And if you're not too keen on hitting that subscribe, at least hit that like button and keep somewhere so keep us in mind. You keep us in mind, and you can watch us again. It's all about Man United and everything, and only Man United. Thank you very much.